The 125 GP standings led by the wonderful old boy himself, Ryan Saxelby. Whittam punches the air. Saxelby on 25 points, Ed Rendell on 20, Bradley Ray on 16, ahead of Taz Taylor on 13, James Flitcroft, Alex Persson, 7th place for Anthony Alonso, and 8th place for Josh Owens. On pole position, Ed Rendell from Chelmsford on the Banks Racing Honda 125, ahead of number 34, the leading Moto3 bike of South Africa's Jordan Weaving, and number 66, Joe Irving from Holmfirth on the Redline KTM. The second row headed by Jason Newribe on the FPW Racing RSR Honda, ahead of Ryan Saxelby on his own bike and James Flitcroft. The third row is Daniel Costilla ahead of Taz Taylor and Anthony Alonso. And the fourth row from James Hobson, Charlie Nesbitt and Elliot Lodge. This is going to be just... what a great sight. It's an exciting afternoon here at Oulton Park. Ask any marshal.
Or is that just a big red and white rucksack and he's fallen over on it?
It looks about the same size as mine, doesn't it, that I carry me. Oh, meanwhile, the boys are out rowing. Now, that's more like it. They're at Lodge Corner this morning. They were exercising for a quick roll. And, oh, I see. I'm not... I'd certainly do what I was told if that lady was showing me the way.
He's taking a sinister turn.
Await the start. 14 lap. The marshals, incidentally, the racesafe.org. If you want to find out how to become a marshal and train how to be one, then please contact them, because the more the merrier, and they do a wonderful job around British Superbike racing circuits. We are in Cheshire, Oulton Park. 14 laps of the British Motostar Championship of 2014 ahead of us. When the lights go out, these kids will be off. Some wonderful two-stroke fumes from that mix of 250 barking 4-strokes and howling 125s. They all get off the line together. Rendell cuts through, and Weaving just holds on off Irving for that second place as they plunge off down the hill, one or two of them taking to the grass.
Yeah, Joe Irving didn't make the best start from pole there.
Oh, wow! Someone lost. That's Ryan Saxelby. It's Ryan Saxelby. He's going to hold on to it. He's determined he's going to stay on it. When you're that old and you put that much into getting fit for this, you're not going to give up that easily. Ryan Saxelby will start behind the pace car and see what he can do to regenerate his championship challenge.
I was just thinking, well, he's not coming cycling with us on Thursday morning, you know?
But indeed he will. He'll probably he'll certainly relay his experiences to you. Oh, look at Joe Irving's speed on the Redline KTM.
Look at the difference in speed. That's just what we're going to say. That hairpin, that's probably about 60 miles an hour. It just leapt out there compared to the two-stroke 125 of Rendell.
So dropping down the hill now, he's going to try his luck on the brakes this time, but Rendell's strong on the brakes, always has been, and he holds the orange Redline KTM off. The Austrian KTM running in second place behind the yellow Honda. Oh, this is great.
I just watched this. I think that we're going to see Joe Irving easily able to pass, and I hadn't even waited to where I thought he'd pass Rendell going down towards Lodge, and he hasn't even waited till then.
Now Rendell, look at that. Rendell just saws his way underneath him going through Druids, and that mistake cost young Joe 2 places.
It did.
So as they drop now through Lodge Corner, Joe Irving is going to have to kind of clear his head and settle down and take aim once again. He's now in 3rd place behind Ed Rendell and Jordan Weaving as they steam across the track. It's Rendell, Weaving, Irving. Jason Newribe is 4th, ahead of James Flitcroft. Taz Taylor 6th, James Hobson 7th, ahead of Costilla, Nesbitt and Mike Brewers. Interesting to see how long it is before Ryan Saxelby crosses the line. He's got to let the car go first. And his lap time was 2 minutes 10 seconds, so he's got a fair bit of time to gather up.
About 8 seconds worth.
Look at that distinctive, beautiful Norwich City colours there of number 36, Jason Newribe. The student from Napa Valley in California, who finished 11th in the 125 GP Championship last year.
Yeah, good lad. Had off in practice, couldn't work out why, but he had an onboard camera on, and he was trying to figure out. I reckon he hit a bump, and nice lad, the American actually, on the 4-stroke FPW bike.
As we watch, look at this. This is the two Moto3 bikes together. So is the red line KTM that little fraction quicker? Is it stronger on the brakes? It looks like it might be. He passes the South African, dropping down the hill, runs just a little bit deep, but almost holds his line. And that, of course, is two KTMs running together. The red and yellow Jordan Racing Burkett KTM, just behind the more traditionally orange KTM of the fabulous and fabulously successful Austrian factory.
Did you see Jordan Weaving cut to the inside and expecting or half hoping that Joe Irvine would do the same as they did the lap before? Well, you would.
In the background, Urad getting away from Flitcroft, Taylor in 6th. And then, oh, look at this lot coming over the crest of the hill. James Hobson, I think, leads. No, it's Costilla who's come through. It's number 24, Daniel Costilla, another American on the Replicast UK Nikos 125. What a great word, a Nikos. So the Nikos 125 leading this flailing bunch. And behind it, got number 86, Nesbitt.
Yeah, this is a real mix from sort of 5th down. It's a real good mix of Moto3 254 strokes and 125 2-strokes.
James Flitcroft is suddenly right behind Uri. We're going to know whether Uri's made a mistake, but Flitcroft is almost level with him on bike number 17.
That's another 2-stroke, 4-stroke little head-to-head there.
They're always entertaining to watch, aren't they? I think we should mix them for as long as we possibly can. James Flitcroft, incidentally, is a 17-year-old from a place called Disley. I have no idea where Disley is, but he's riding rather well on bike number 17, the Kinpack Racing 125. Aprilia, James. Well, Aprilias are traditionally the fastest of the 125s.
They are, yes. You can tell it's an Aprilia because they're the only one with the exhaust that exit through the seat.
And this is the battle from about 7th to 77th places going on all at once as we drop down the hill here, and someone else has moved through. It's number 86, Nesbitt. Oh, but someone's had to run straight on. Just didn't find the room in the pack, and that will cost him dear. And that's number 164, Anthony Alonso.
Another American.
How many Americans have we got in this class?
Quite a few. We're going to have 4, I think.
So Anthony Alonso then runs straight on. Meanwhile, Ed Rendell will just beginning to feel the two KTMs closing in on him. Jason Uride was once again, this second part of the track, Uride gets right away from Flitcroft, and then Flitcroft closes back up on him. Here we have a bunch of riders. Here's another of the Kinpack bikes. That's number 25. Mike Brewer's trying to make a move through. Mike Brewer's, I beg your pardon, it's the same colour scheme, but it's the Jolma Brewers Racing Team Honda 250. Oh, this is very entertaining. He's determinedly holding on to that place. And here is the change in leadership, because Joe Irving plunders first place from number 12, Ed Rendell. So we've got the 125 sandwich here. The KTM's beginning to overwhelm that gallant yellow machine.
You can tell that Rendell's still got the speed in the corners with that 125 2-stroke.
22-year-old now. Hang on, something's happening. Apologies, folks, for our loss of commentary. There's a great battle going on at the front here with Ed Rendell on the 5th lap of 14, having retaken the lead on his 125. Like this. Look at this, using 125 time kind of slingshot round the outside of Ireland Bend. Jordan Weaving sits up Joe Irving and hangs on to that second place. But look at this, Weaving has now retaken the lead, so it's all happening here. A great battle for honours in the Motostar Championship. Second round at Oulton Park. Look at this, Rendell again.
Do you know what? He hasn't got the speed on the straights, but it's quite embarrassing.
Yeah, but look at the way in which he swoops round these lads and lines them up. It makes for great racing.
Watch this. He'll cut from the outside to the inside into the hairpin.
But Jordan will be expecting him this time. He's seen what he did last time. Oh, is he going to be able to hold him off? Just. So Jordan Weaving, the South African, number 34, clinging on to that advantage.
The thing Ed Rendell needs to do is get out of the corners quick, because he really needs to carry every ounce of speed out of the corner he can. Look. See how he gets quicker out of the corners? That helps him a little bit on the straights. But by the end of the straight, there's no question that the four-strokes are going to be going quicker.
Jordan Weaving loses out again. Here comes Rendell. And Rendell, the 22-year-old from Chelmsford, lunges back through sweetly into the lead. And once again, look at the amount of swooping drive he gets.
Meanwhile, Saxon is battling his way up. He's up to 20th now. He was 32nd when he rejoined the track. Well, actually 33rd, because the pace car was in front of him as well.
Exactly, yes. Pace car was running 32nd. So right now, Rendell, Weaving, and the threatening figure of number 66, Joe Irving, on the orange red line KTM. And then further back, we've still got this battle on with Jason Newride clinging on in front of James Flitcroft, and all the time getting closer is 16-year-old Taz Taylor on the Oulton Honda, who is a student from a place called Mansfield Woodhouse. And look at this, Geordie boy takes the lead once again. Jordan Weaving, age 16, originally from Cape Town, South Africa, swoops back to the front. But look at Rendell. Rendell's fabulous. The way he's I think he's been watching Andy Reid last year and thinking, this is how to make a 125 fast enough to win. Now we'll get drafted past him. There's no way he'll be able to hang on down here, because the KTM's just, at least one of them, oh no, this time he just dives across the front wheel of Jordan Weaving, unnerves the lad from Cape Town and hangs on to the lead.
I think he's doing well, Rendell, because God loves two-strokes. As do I.
He's on the Banks Racing Honda.
Divine assistance.
I'll tell you what, he's got absolutely no reason to fear anything either, because he works as a roadside breakdown assistant, so he can look after himself whatever happens.
Is that an orange van or a yellow van?
I don't know. We'll have to ask him. He's on a yellow bike at the moment.
Yeah.
He's got red and orange for company. Rendell still leads it from Weaving and number 66, Joe Irving.
Man in fifth, number 17, Flitcroft. He's actually European Junior Cup competitive last year, and he was actually finished top Brit in that. They go to all the World Superbike rounds and they ride 500 Hondas.
That's right, at kind of a trundling speed, as I recall. That's how it seems in comparison to everything else that's out there.
It's a brilliant class for him, it really is. You don't want to be giving kids just starting out in international racing, 200 horsepower.
Look at this. They say these are the three leaders. Rendell is still there, Weaving, hovering menacingly, and Irving just, well, with a grandstand view, really. We're now at half distance. Complete 7 laps of 14. Ed Rendell on the Banks Racing Honda, just from Jordan Weaving and Joe Irving on their KTMs.
Yeah, Rendell swoops around Jordan Weaving again.
So this is two-stroke 125, remember, folks, leading two barking 250cc four-strokes.
Yeah, it sounds like the 250s are twice as big in cc's. He would have a massive advantage. They have got an advantage in speed. There you go. That's 86. That's Charlie Nesbitt bites the dust.
Charlie Nesbitt, who was having a good ride as well.
Here he goes, hang on. Front end, lost it, dug his knee. And I tell you what,
he tried to hold that, didn't he?
The kid tried to save that. I've got to be honest, it did what it says in the manual. It just didn't work. I'd have let go of that several yards before he did.
What he said in the manual.
There he is, look. Well done, lad.
That's Charlie Nesbitt, number 86. What a brilliant attempt by the way, can I just say that Charlie Nesbitt, that's Charlie Spud Nesbitt. He's 13-year-old, just turned 13 on the 12th of March, comes from Swindon. And that was a great effort to keep that bike upright.
Yeah. A lot of that sort of trying to keep the bike upright on your knee comes from Mini Moto, because you can actually do that a lot easier with the littler bikes.
Strange you should say that, James, because he started out in Mini GP, and he was actually the Spanish Mini GP 70cc champion in 2012.
A lot of these kids are. They've come through the mini bike route.
Joe Irving just looks to have slightly lost contact with the front two now. It's just beginning to develop on the 8th of 14 laps into a battle between Ed Rendell and Jordan Weaving. Rendell's really, you must have to show great resourcefulness and reserves to ride a motorcycle that you know is down on power. So all the time you're thinking about where you're going to be able to carve an advantage.
Sachs will be carving his way through to 13th now. He's got points.
Wow. And his best lap, 1:48.8. And that's in traffic. That matches it doesn't match the leaders, but it's pretty much better than anybody else around him at the moment. So Ryan Sachs will be really on the charge, and remember, having made his comeback to racing.
6 of the riders in front of him are on Moto3 bikes, so they won't take points off him in the classification.
That's true,
in the GP class.
So he is going to be gaining valuable points. Can I take back entirely what I said about Joe Irving being out of it, because the Toad and Tatey pub man is right back in the mix now on bike 66.
His dad Mark is making Joe work really hard at the pub. They're a grafting family. They run a smashing little business out there.
He's working as a chef, isn't he?
He's working as a trainee chef, but he also waits on tables and does a lot of cleaning up and cleaning out. Ryan Saxon, number 76. He really is old enough to know better, but I tell you what, a ride through like that, he will be enjoying every second of it. The fairing's hanging loose. Look, he's obviously kicked it with his leg on that off-track experience, but you've got to take you out to ride. He wants to do this, and he spent all winter losing weight and training like an idiot, and you know, he ain't going to give up, Caesar.
He started out racing scooters against Leon Haslam in 1999.
His dad, Ryan Saxon's dad, is a legend in the scooter racing world, I'm told. Not that I've known myself. He's pushing hard now. He's riding, you know, he nearly lost the front there. He's pushing so hard.
Looked a bit risky, didn't it? But Sachs will be trying to make ground ahead of him. You can see the number 11 machine of Joseph Thomas.
He's going to catch him, there's no question of that.
He's certainly lapping a good deal faster. Meanwhile, at the front, Jordan Weaving keeps getting the drive out of Deer Leap. Can he do enough? Oh, look at Rendell looking alongside him as if to say, you just dare come inside me now, son.
He's nothing about drive. He's just got a faster bike is what he's got.
I know, but he looked as if he was going to pull him there, and Rendell eyeballed him.
I've been trying to sugarcoat it and be kind to the Moto3 riders, but you can't. Rendell's got a slow bike. It's a fact, and he's riding the wheels off it. Well done.
So Ed Rendell, number 12, still there on the Banks Racing Honda. Up a quick glance over his shoulder there from Jordan Weaving to check where Irving is, and the answer is that he's absolutely as close behind him as could be, almost riding pillion. And then we got Uribe running fourth. Taz Taylor has got the better of James Flitcroft and moved into 5th place. Behind them, we've got Anthony Alonso, Arnie Shelton, Mike Brewers, and Daniel Costello. We've got 3 Americans in the top 10. How bizarre is that here in leafy Cheshire?
Uribe, sponsored by Fireplace Warehouse up there in Lancashire. Got loads of outlets selling log burners and any kind of open fire, gas powered, anything you want.
Incidentally, Anthony Alonso running in 7th place, known charmingly as Crazy Sid. He's all of 15 years old, the American lad.
Oh, must be really crazy.
Rendell, Weaving, Irving. These are the 3 who are dicing for the win. Jason Uribe running in 4th place just from a very determined Taz Taylor.
And the problem that Rendell's got is that once these Moto3 bikes get in front of him and have a bit of clear track, he's unlikely to be able to get back at him. They will pull away. He needs to be sort of just holding him up where they're kicking him a little bit, if you know what I mean. I just get the feeling that if Weaving or Irving could get past him, they would, either one of them would be able to clear off. It looks like Irving's having a look now. Irving's regrouped completely.
Again, it looks to me as if, what is it? Jordan Weaving doesn't seem to be quite brave enough on the entrance to the turns. He needs to just stick it in a bit deeper to stop Rendell swooping across the front of him.
You should have nipped into his garage and told him that, Jackie. I'm sure it would have helped immensely.
He's bound to listen to me, James. Rendell said, you know, if the KTMs keep carving one another up like this, then Rendell's got it.
Yep.
They're on the 11th of 14 laps, and Ed Rendell still leading the way on bike number 12.
I think it's still a big ask for Rendell to win this, unless he can. It looks like he's got more distance now than he had for a few laps, but it's so easy when you're on a quicker bike to put yourself in a position to outbrake and make a move. So difficult to keep holding off a rider on a faster bike over laps.
He keeps opening up just that little precious gap, look, just enough to prevent them getting a stab at him too much.
What I can't understand is Weaving there didn't stay in the slipstream. It's really important with these things. You would expect the rider following another rider in this class particularly to be dead in the wheel track, so you're gaining that little bit all the time.
But with those great swooping exits to the turns, he's pulling time on them at that moment, so they can't quite get straight into the slipstream.
No, but even on the straights, Weaving wasn't. The only time you wouldn't be behind somebody on the straights is when you were close enough to have a look and you pull to one side when you're approaching the braking zone.
So Ed Rendell leading the way, finished second in the Motostar 125 GP Championship in 2013, had a race win at Assen, 3 second-place finishes. Never been not on the rostrum here at Oulton Park, though.
He's going to end up leading the Motorship, and here comes... you know...
He's having to adopt Andy Reid tactics.
I think he was taken by surprise a little bit there by Weaving and then Irvine, but I think Irvine might have just timed this right. A good chance Irvine could win this, you know.
We're on the 12th lap of 14.
3 laps including this one to go.
Taylor has moved through past Jason Uribe, so a terrific ride, the best I've ever seen from him, really, from Taz Taylor. Begging his pardon, he had a 2nd place at Donington and a 3rd at Brands Hatch last year, on his way to 6th in the 125 GP Championship. Now he's running in 4th place. Uribe 5th, Flitcroft, Alonso, Shelton, Taylor and Costilla round out the top 10. Sachs will be up to 12th place now. And the 3 bikes ahead of him, James, are all 254 strokes, so that's going to be about the lot, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Which would put him about 6th or so in the 125 GP Championship chase. Oh, back markers coming entertainingly into play. This could make a difference then. This is number 7, Jamie Ashby, a 17-year-old who's a mechanic at Ducati Coventry, but he's not riding a Ducati, I hasten to add. And meanwhile, here's Taz Taylor, number 6. Still battling away with Jason Uribe, and just behind them, James Flitcroft. 2 very evenly matched Oulton Hondas, of course, and the FTW Racing boys. Yep. Meanwhile, Ed Rendell. These KTMs still banging bars with each other, but not really. But the thing is that as long as they chop at each other, it gives Ed Rendell that little breathing space. So 2 laps to go at this point, 12 laps complete. Oh, they look so much faster as they swoop out of Deer Leap. And again, Ed will just challenge them to come up the inside.
Yep, late on the brakes is Rendell. Just that 2 or 3 yards late and swoops around the outside. He's got just faster mid-corner speed, wider lines. And what he's trying to do there with the wide line is carry as much speed as he can on that 125 out of the corners onto the straight. Seems wide there. And that'll give him probably 2 or 3 miles an hour. With a big bike, you can't do that. You've got to sit the thing off the side of the tank, get the thing going straight and get the throttle up.
Ed Rendell's done 4. He had 1 unsuccessful season in Superstock 600, but he's done 4 seasons in 125 GP, and we remember him dramatically, bless him, breaking his leg
in the world
at Cadwell Park, didn't he? Coming out of Barn Corner.
And then James Lodge went straight across the gooseneck and swiped him when he was leading a race. It was he's had a lot of bad luck as Ed Rendell. He's riding well now, though.
He is, he's looking very strong, isn't he? So Rendell, number 12, leading the way. He's a big lad, can't tuck in too well on the 125, but he's still managing to fend off the 2 KTMs. And of course the 2 KTMs, they're battling over 25 points for a Moto3 race win here.
Correct, yeah.
So they're bound to be, in fact, possibly more concerned about each other than the overall race result, because Ed's creeping away from them. He keeps just opening up that bit of a gap until that point at the top of the hill.
It is Joe Irvine that leads the Moto3 Championship from Weaving, so that is a big dice between those, and Rendell's second and leading. Saxon leads in the minute the 125 GP, but Ed Rendell's going to, well, if he finishes in the top 3, which he looks certain to do. I should have said that, should I?
No, look, is that a knot of potential lappers coming up? Oh, and finally, Jordan Weaving manages to get the drive, and Ed Rendell is pushed back to third place, but of course still leading the 125 two-stroke class. Yep. As they drop down the hill, entertaining, and we've got 4 lads battling for positions. Oh, and Joe Irvin.
He's just might have timed this right, you know.
Didn't quite make it stick. He manages to stay ahead of Ed Rendell, which is important.
Ed Rendell gets in the slipstream. He needs the speed now. If he's quick here, can he do anything into the hairpin? I think he...
This is about to become a very crowded racetrack, James. Anything could happen at this point.
Whoever gets this, I don't even want to watch this, to be honest, Jack.
Whoops-a-daisy, one of them sat up. Oh, blue flags racing, people chopping and and that's played right into Jordan Weaving's hands.
It has.
Jordan Weaving on the final lap suddenly gets the breakaway in amongst the traffic. That's exactly what he needed. But hang on, the Flying Toads got through as well. Yep. He's after him. He didn't want him to get away. That was a... Oh, he's gone down! Oh, Joe Irving just pushed a bit too hard in the drop down to Knickerbrook.
Yep, he
and
did.
Hizzy's lost the front end, and down goes the red line KTM. Frustration.
He did. He went in a bit too hot, carried a bit too much speed, had to sit up, hit the grass. Obviously not as much, and then down he's gone.
So Jordan Weaving now, after a helter-skelter race, has finally got the lead to himself. The first time it's happened. What better time than the last half lap here at Oulton Park?
Saxelby's in 9th now. It's like it's a knockout, Saxelby.
Number 34, Jordan Weaving. The South African takes victory here and takes the lead in the Moto3 Motostar Championship. Ed Rendell, what a sensational ride. He takes victory in the 125 GP class. Joe Irving crashes out. Taz Taylor will cross the line as second 125, third in the race eventually, ahead of Jason Uribe, who will take third place in the... In fact, it's Uribe who gets across the line first, and that means that overall he's third, second in the Moto3 class. Here is Ryan Saxelby. What a ride from the 38-year-old. Is he a Huddersfield lad or Holmfirth?
No, he's a Penistone. He's from Penistone, between Huddersfield and Sheffield.
So Penistone's very own Ryan Saxelby then launches across the line, finishes, I think he might have finished in 8th place. 8th place overall. That is a great ride from being completely off the track, and will get him precious points.
This is Joe Irving going down. It's the grass, not a lot of grip there. Really unfortunate, pushing hard. I thought he might have just timed it right, that, and it was looking good for a win, I think. Unlucky. Unhurt though. There he is.
And still smiling, that's what we like to see.
And I tell you what, his dad will have him in the restaurant waiting on tables and cooking tonight.
You're bruised, forget it. I'm sore, Dad. Look at that. Average speed of that race, James, 90 miles per hour. That's the whole race average. That's extremely impressive. Jordan Weaving set the fastest lap, 1:46.665 seconds. A second off Taylor Mackenzie's amazing lap record from back in 2010. But a great ride from Jordan Weaving. He takes the lead with 45 points in the Moto3 category of the Motostar Championship. Great ride by Taz Taylor, who really proved himself with that second 125 place. The overall race winners there. What about this lad, Ed Rendell? Absolutely great.
And you know, this is the only real class left in British Championship racing that they're proper race bikes. They're not designed to be on the road. They don't come with lights on and you have to strip them all off. You'd have to do any work on them. They come like this. They're proper racing bikes with all the suspension adjustments, and that's why it's a really good learning class for well, not just kids, but you know, it's just a brilliant class. Love it.
Ed Rendell's obviously enjoyed that. He's taken maximum points in the 125cc class.
I suspect this is Joe Irving, the unlucky Joe Irving.
Signing autographs for lads, well done, and lasses.
Most likely signing autographs for lasses in this case, I would have said.
Jordan Weaving, and just behind him there, Ryan Saxelby. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th man home, Ryan Saxelby, so 10 precious points. The Motostar 3 Championship, well, this is the overall in the Motostar Championship. Jordan Weaving's KTM beat Ed Rendell's Honda with Jason Uribe in 3rd place. 4th place for Taz Taylor's Oulton Honda ahead of James Flitcroft and Anthony Alonso. Arnie Shelton runs 7th ahead of Ryan Saxelby, coming from 33rd and last. Chris Taylor and Mike Brewers. 11th place goes to Josh Owens ahead of James Hobson, with Thomas Johnson and Ashley Durham rounding out the top 15, which means we lost the third of the Americans, Dan Costilla, very late on in that race. Elliot Lodge, Tim Booth Amos, Clayton Vallely and Vincent round out the top 20. So let's check out how the Moto3 results look after looked in that race. So I beg your pardon, this is after 2 rounds. Jordan Weaving then leads it with 45 points, and after Joe Irving's misfortune, Jason Uribe moves second on 36. The American now managed by Michael Hill, with Taylor on 26. Irving now drops to 4th on 25 ahead of Mike Brewers on 21. Tim Booth Amos on 17, level with James Hobson, and then her ladyship Sam Berman ahead of Dan Costilla and the unlucky Charlie Nesbitt.
Third place, Jason Uribe. Jason, at what point did you realise that you were on for a podium there? Because it was just a crash for Joe Irving on the final lap that they gave it to you.
Yeah, it was a mad race. I mean, we had the pace consistently through the 125s, but we had a problem with the shock. It's dismantled itself, so last lap we couldn't fight for our position.
You still managed to pick up a podium, though, so you're delighted with that? Yeah,
I'm really chuffed for that, yeah, and the new project bike's running really well now. We're not far off GP spec.
Okay, good man, well done.
Thank you very much. I'm Flick.
That was James Flitcroft there, of course. Congratulations, podium finish. Happy with that?
Yeah, really good. We've been strong all weekend long. You know, we've been topping all the timetables, and I'm really comfortable with the bike. You know, Harris, we've got an Oulton shock, and Harris has been working with us, and we've got it set up just perfectly, and it couldn't have gone any better. You know, I just want to thank all the team, because without them we wouldn't be here, and of course my manager Peter Martin and Paul Wilcox and everyone else who's helped me along the way. It's been fantastic today. Really enjoyed it. Really.
Doing it for the 2 strokes.
Yeah, I thought I had it near the end, but when Weaving and Irving come past, obviously Irving had a little spoon in front of me, and I just couldn't get up with Weaving. So, but I'm happy. Still first place in 125s and second overall, so couldn't go much better than that.
It's great to watch. Well done, Ed.
Thank you. Cheers.
Now let's bring the winner in then, and the new championship leader, Jordan Weaving. Well done, Jordan. Great win for you there. A bit of confusion with the back markers on the final lap, but you wrapped at the win.
Yeah, it was a tough race. Just with the team worked well all weekend. And just like to say thank you to them, and especially on being on a standard bike against factory bikes, it makes me work harder, and that's how I most probably work well to achieve my goals. So yeah, I'm happy, and just like to thank everyone, especially Express Coffee and all my sponsors, Burkett, Shark Helmets. Thank you.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thank you so much.
The Motostar British Championship led off by pole sitter Ed Rendell on the Banks Racing 125 Honda, who braves it out through the first turn to fend off the KTMs of Jordan Weaving and the red line KTM of Joe Irving as they drop down the hill towards Cascade. A huge moment for Ryan Saxelby, for the 30-year-old veteran tuner of so many fast bikes, just clings on while the battle is waged at the front. Ed Rendell retakes the lead from Joe Irving, and they will fence their way like this right the way through the race, with the fast sweeping lines of the 125 counteracting the superior speed of the 4-stroke 250s, until this moment, just a couple of laps from the end, when Jordan Weaving tries to go through and does succeed in going through, but almost immediately is retaken by Rendell, so strong on the brakes. Once again, Jordan Weaving launches that move into Old Hall Corner, and then looks round. Oh dear me, he looked round for a moment. That looked a bit dodgy, didn't it? And Ed Rendell led for so many laps, almost a dozen laps of this, 14 laps of this race, and then a mistake on the final lap by Joe Irving. He crashes out the Toden Tatey red line KTM, and number 34 Jordan Weaving takes victory overall. Ed Rendell a delighted second and leading 125 GP rider, but the South African now leads the championship. The 125cc GP standings after that race. Ed Rendell on 45 points has a 10-point advantage over Ryan Saxelby, who worked hard to salvage 10 points in that race. Taz Taylor just 2 points further back in third, ahead of James Flitcroft. Anthony fifth, ahead of Arnie Narp, ahead of 50 Shelton and Josh Owens. Bradley Ray, who's absent on Red Bull Rookies duty this weekend, is 8th overall, ahead of Thomas and Persson.
Some great action.